Keeper is a mobile Bitcoin application that goes far beyond the label of wallet. It is a full key management system that allows you to create hot wallets, import and manage cold wallets, as well as set up and utilize digital vaults, and much, much more. Today, we're going to learn how to set up and use Bitcoin Keeper on your mobile device. I am Ben with the BTC Sessions. This is your daily session.
Hodl the Bitcoin.
Bitcoin Well is on a mission to enable independence by being one of the easiest and quickest ways to purchase Bitcoin in Canada and the US. And the best part about it, every buy goes directly into your own self-custody. They never hold your coins. You can add a Bitcoin address as part of onboarding. There's a transparent 1% spread, no hidden fees, no withdrawal fees. Plus they have KYC free sells and bill payments on their website. They're also a publicly traded company under the ticker BTCW on the TSXV. Check them out over at bitcoinwell.com. Check out my full tutorial on how to use them, and you can check out the links in the show notes down below and sign up today. Coinkite.com has some of the best hardware on the market today to secure your Bitcoin. The Coldcard Q is an absolute powerhouse and is my daily driver. And on top of this, they have plenty of other goodies, including the Mark IV, the Tapsigner, Open Dimes, the Block Clock, and much more. If you head over to their website, make sure you use code BTC Sessions at checkout to get a nice discount. Links are in the show notes down below. So let's start with prerequisites. What are you going to need to know in order to successfully navigate this tutorial? Well, you should be familiar with, number one, where to obtain Bitcoin, because this particular episode is going to be covering how to manage your Bitcoin and secure it, not necessarily obtain it. There will be a demo of me funding the wallet directly from an exchange, but depending on where you are in the world, said exchange may not exist there. Otherwise, I will link down below to the one that I use. In terms of actually understanding Bitcoin, just general knowledge about how to send and receive is valuable, although I will be walking through those steps. If you're unfamiliar, you can check back through earlier videos that really break it down in a basic sense, and I'll link that down below as well. In terms of the wallet itself, this is bitcoinkeeper.app. And on this website, you'll find links for both the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store to download it. Side note, if you're on Android, you don't even have to use the App Store. You can just download the APK file and install it that way as well, if you are so inclined. And then in terms of when we get to hardware and multisig, I will be using a couple different devices. I'm going to be using a Tapsigner and a Coldcard Q. These are created by Coinkite, and they have lots of other goodies as well. Anyways, you can check them out in the show notes down below if you like what you see there. But these devices will already be set up. So I'm not going through the setup process for the Coldcard and the Tapsigner. They will already have been initiated. And so if you're curious about that, I'll link to those tutorials in the show notes as well. But with that, I think that's pretty much it. Anything else that I do happen to cover in the video, I'll be sure to link tutorials to said things in the show notes down below if I failed to mention them here. But with that, let's get started and let's boot up the Keeper app on our mobile devices. All right, so here we are on my mobile device. Side note, I am using an Android device. However, the experience will be much the same on an iPhone. Either way, I'm in the Google Play App Store, and you will need to search Bitcoin Keeper to make sure that it comes up first, but there it is. I'll see that there, and I'm going to give it an install, and then we'll jump to the screen with it fully installed. With it added to my home screen, I'll boot it up for the first time. And the first thing we're going to be doing is setting a passcode. You got to make sure that you remember it. If you do forget it later on, you'll need to uninstall and reinstall and recover your account. So please do remember, for this purpose, I'm going to do a simple one for this demo version. And do it again. And create. There we go. As it lets you know again, please remember your passcode, back up your app by writing down the 12-word recovery key. You will be locked out of the app if you forget the passcode and will have to recover it. So I'll just hit continue there. And this gives you a few FAQs about how Keeper works, single or multi-key wallets, popular signing devices, all of that. Moving on here, security should not come at the cost of privacy. So no account creation needed. Run your own node, connect via Tor, manage UTXOs, all that good stuff. We'll get into some of that today. And then you can upgrade to Diamond Hands for generational holdings. And this is their inheritance plan. I won't be covering that today. That will be a future video, but that is also something that they offer. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to hit Start App. And we are off to the races. It gives us two options, start new or recover an existing app. We will be touching on recovery later, but for now we're going to hit start new. And it's going to set up, it gives you a little bit of information about Keeper again. And once it's done, we can hit next. And there we go. Everything is all set up now and we are into the application, but these action cards up top are meant to guide you through what is the likely next step that you're going to need to do. And so I can see here up top, it says back up the recovery key to secure the app. And that is a priority. That's something we should do right away. So I'm going to hit the backup button and then it's going to ask for my passcode, which I had just created, and I'll hit proceed. And it says, carefully write down the 12-word recovery key in a private place and ensure its security. Be aware anyone with access to the recovery key can access and withdraw your funds. Losing them means you can't recover your wallet. So again, these are very important. Keep them safe. Keep them away from prying eyes. Do not keep digital copies of these. Physical copies kept somewhere safe. All right, we're going to hit backup now. And this gives us a hidden list of 12 words. And how you access these is simply tapping one at a time. It will show you the first word. And I'm going to go through, I'm going to tap on each one. Every time I tap on a word, it will blank out the other one. And we're going to go through. It matters that you write these down in order. That's very important. So I'm going to go through and make sure you're paying attention to the numbers because it goes left to right and then down to the next row. Don't go all the way down the first row and the second. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Okay. So we'll jump ahead to where I've written these down. After having written all of the words down, I'm going to hit next. And it's going to ask me a random one of my words. In this case, what was the 7th word? So I'm looking at my paper off to the side here. I can see that the 7th word was other. So I'm just going to type that in right here and then hit confirm. And there we go. Backup successful. You will be reminded again in 180 days. So it does a key check and ask me to double check my seed every 180 days or so. Okay, so I'll hit done and it lets me know that my recovery phrase backup has been created. And a health check is just as simple as it'll ask you another random word. You type it in, you're good to go. Okay. So I'm just going to back out here all the way to the main screen that we were on before. And we now have a functioning wallet. So up next, we're going to get a lay of the land, see what's in front of us, just so we know how to navigate the app in general. All right, so here's our overview. Again, at the top, you have action cards suggesting next potential actions that you may want to partake in. So you can see right now it says create your first vault, secure your sats with a vault, and I can either skip or continue. And there will be other cards underneath that may have other suggestions for me. Just below that, I have a few options: manage keys, inheritance planning, and keeper concierge. So as I was saying in the intro, Keeper is more than just a singular wallet. It is a key management system, meaning you can, of course, create a hot wallet on your device. So regular day-to-day spending wallet for on-chain funds. You can also create multiple different wallets. So maybe you have accounts for specific purposes. Beyond that, you can also import and use hardware devices as singular signers. So something like a Tapsigner or a Coldcard may be something that you use alongside with this. And that means that the keys reside in an external device and you can simply see your balance and add to it here. But in order to spend, you need the keys to your money, which are in a special device. So you can use that, or you can create vaults that require multiple keys to unlock. So picture like a bank vault that has 3 keyholes, and you need at least 2 keys inserted simultaneously and turned in order to unlock and access the funds therein. Okay, so this is what you're able to do with Keeper. And it goes beyond that as well. And we'll get into that in future videos, but that's kind of what we're going to cover today, those key features. So when I say go to manage keys, it shows what keys are available currently on my phone. And so it says, hey, you've got a mobile key. All right. And that is, if I tap on it, I get some details about it. Okay. Signer added. That's any history of it. And that's pretty much it. I can run a health check on it. There are other settings like hiding the key if I don't want it visible right now, signing transactions, different things. I can change the description and the name of it. All of that is available in the key details. But right now I have a singular key, and we can, of course, add to that if we like. Now, next up, inheritance planning. This won't be covered in this video, but they have services where they can hold a key for you so that if you were to misplace one of your keys, they have like a backup type thing where they can be one of the signers in a vault or one of the keys in a vault. So they can't steal your funds, but they can help you unlock them if you start losing things. They also have other items for backup and recovery, inheritance documents. It's quite fleshed out with their inheritance planning, and we'll get into that in a totally separate video. And then they also have Keeper Concierge. Get all your queries answered with Keeper Concierge. Upgrade to Hodler to chat with a support executive in Diamond Hands to schedule calls. So basically, these are one-on-one services that they offer to help you through any problems you may have if you're doing one of their tiered inheritance or multi-sig vault options. Okay, so those are all just right there in the middle. Now down below you have your wallets, and so right here it gives a description of what the wallet itself is. It says it's a single key and it's a hot wallet, meaning that there is one key required to unlock these funds, and it's a hot wallet, meaning that the key to unlock these funds is on the phone. Okay, so that would be used for more day-to-day smaller amounts, and by smaller amounts I mean that's very personal to the individual, but you're not going to be having your life savings in a hot wallet on your phone is what I'm getting at. Now if you do want to add a wallet, that is right beside here, and if I tap that, it gives you lots of different options for adding and importing and doing all kinds of different things. We'll get into that as we get into wallet creation. And then up in the very top right there is a settings wheel. And this gives you lots of different options and things to do here. Again, your recovery key is here. And this is where you would do a health check for it, check your words. You can also view the recovery key to double check everything and rewrite it down if you misplace your backup. Outside of that, you can manage your wallets. You can do a personal cloud backup, and we'll touch on that in a little bit. You can toggle to dark mode, which I am a fan of dark mode, and perhaps I'm going to leave that on right now. Again, security, passcode, biometrics, connecting to your own node, Tor, all kinds of different things. And then currency defaults. If you want to set your local currency, you can go in here and change that from USD to whatever you like. And yeah, that is pretty much it. So that's the run of everything. And now we're going to get into actually funding and using this wallet. So in this section, we're going to be dealing with hot wallets, aka wallets where the keys to unlock your money exist on this device, meaning they're on a device connected to the internet. If it's a cold wallet, again, the keys to your money are offline in a dedicated device that is separate and not connected to the internet. So what I want to do here first is I actually want to add a second hot wallet because I want to show that you can interact between them. Okay, so we have our one hot wallet, and this was generated by default. We have a 12-word seed phrase we've written down. Now, I will get into the technicals of how all of this works later on, but what we're going to do is we're going to create a second hot wallet, maybe for a secondary purpose. But both of these wallets, they are any hot wallet that you create here is backed up by the same seed phrase. And again, I'll get into the technicals of that later, but just know that in order to recover all of these wallets, you don't need to have separate 12-word phrases. They are all one and the same, and that's it. You need one backup, and that's it. Okay. So we're going to hit add wallet, and we're going to do a hot wallet, the top option here. And I'll just leave it labeled as wallet 2, but you could change whatever you want, and you can add a description further than that if you like. And they also have this cool thing where it says, when the wallet balance comes to this amount, transfer to the vault that is initiated for user approval. So basically, once this balance grows too high, you can set a default amount where it will say, hey, do you want to send this balance to your digital vault so that it's safer and more secure? And I love that feature. I love that it's automated. Of course, like you still have to approve it manually, but it will give you a notification, say, hey, do you want to do this? Okay, so this all looks good. I'm going to leave this as is. There are some advanced features if you want to get into derivation paths and all that kind of stuff, but I'm going to leave that. I don't need to mess with any of that right now. I'm going to go ahead and hit proceed. All right, wallet created successfully. If I want to go directly to that wallet, I just hit view wallet, and it takes me right in, and now I can see the internals of that wallet itself. I'm just going to back out so that you can see now I have wallet 1 and wallet 2, and then the wallet add wallet is off to the side, and I can slide between them. So just looking at the wallets themselves, we're going to fund one of these wallets, okay? And I'm going to fund wallet 1. So I'm going to go into it. This shows me, again, more details about it. It's going to show a balance. It's going to show an option to buy Bitcoin. They do have an integration here. I'm going to be using my local exchange to fund this wallet. And then they also have some stuff in and around UTXOs and management. That's more advanced. We'll cover that later. And then you'll have a list of any previous transactions down below. At the bottom, you've got send, receive, and settings for this particular wallet. So we're just going to receive. We're going to hit receive. This gives us a QR code. This is your Bitcoin address. Anybody can scan it and send to it. If somebody is not in front of you to scan it, then you can simply hit copy. That will copy your Bitcoin address for sharing anywhere. And I'm just going to copy it into my clipboard, and I'm going to go off and I'm going to paste it into the exchange that I'm using here. You can add an amount if you like. I'm going to leave it as is. I don't need a specific amount. But if you did do that, somebody scanning your QR code would be shown a specific amount to send. So I've copied my address, and I'm going to flick over to Bitcoin Well here. So this is an exchange that's in Canada and the US, and they allow instant self-custody. And so that's what I want to do. I'm not going super in-depth here with Bitcoin Well. That's not the point of this video, but if you're curious about them, I'll link to a tutorial I did for them down below. Nonetheless, I'm going to paste in the address that I copied from Keeper. I made a mental note of the first few and the last few digits. It all looks good to me. I'm going to add that as my receiving address there. And then here in Canada, at least, Bitcoin Well allows for Interac e-transfer. So I just need to send an e-transfer with the following information. And then momentarily, I should receive a transfer of funds. So I'm going to jump off. We're going to skip ahead. I need to do a bank transfer to Bitcoin Well. And then as soon as that lands, I'll receive a transaction into my Keeper account. So it's just about a minute and a half, 2 minutes later, I'm getting a notification via email that my Bitcoin has been broadcast and sent. I have it set to auto send for an urgent transaction, but you can change your settings to have it broadcast once a day, and then you won't have to pay any on-chain fees. Nonetheless, we are done with Bitcoin Well there. I'm going to go to Keeper, and we'll back out. And to refresh, you simply drag down on the screen, And there we go. We can see a pending transaction. So when I tap on that, there's a little hourglass on the initial one, but it says, hey, this is your balance coming in. These are in sats. If you're unfamiliar, there are 100 million sats in a single Bitcoin. It is like the pennies to the Bitcoin dollar, but there's a lot more pennies in a Bitcoin. Okay, so it says it's wallet one. I can add any notes or anything for my own internal use. And it shows me some transaction information. Now, if I want to see my place in line in terms of when this will be fully confirmed, I can tap here and I'll be bumped to something called mempool.space. And this shows the queue of upcoming transactions. And this little lined threshold is transactions that are fully settled. So I'm up next, and in very short order, I should see this cross that threshold, and I should have full custody of my funds here in Keeper app, and we'll see it updated as well. And so with that, we'll just jump ahead to when that happens. All right, some time has passed, and now we can see that this transaction is officially confirmed and spendable. So we now have a balance. We can, if we tap our balances back on our main screen, it will then show the balance. Again, this is in sats, not in Bitcoin, but they've just chosen to display it this way, which for me works just fine. And so now what about sending out of the wallet? How does that function? Pretty much the same as you might expect. You go in to the desired wallet, you hit send, and then it will ask you the first time if you want to enable your camera while using the app. I will say yes. This, of course, allows me to scan QR codes. But for this video, I'm going to actually utilize a Bitcoin address. And so what I'll do, I'll back out and I'll show two different ways of doing this. So let's say I wanted to send to one of my own wallets here. I'm going to hit receive and I'm going to copy this address. And the reason I'm copying it right now is I'm pretending like somebody else has messaged me a Bitcoin address to send to. So I'll go back to wallet number one, where I want to send out of, the one that has a balance, and I'm going to hit send. And if I had something copied to the clipboard, well, then I could just paste it in here and I'm good to go, and it will begin setting up the transaction. However, what I can also do, I'll go back one more time and I'll hit send, is I can just choose an existing wallet within Keeper itself because it is listed down below. So I can just hit wallet 2 and it will pick an address from that wallet because it's all governed here within the app. So I can hit proceed and it will autofill an address for me. It says it's going from wallet 1 to wallet 2. How much would you like to send? And so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go and send the max here. I can add any note that I want. When I hit the send button, this will not send yet. Don't worry, you have time to be able to set your fees. So let's take a look at how setting fees and the layout here works. Again, you can toggle between dollar amounts and Bitcoin amounts or sats, but it will show me, okay, transaction priority, okay, arrival time, 60 minutes, the total fee, and you can tap this. So I can choose between low, medium, and high priority here, or I can do custom. Now, if you really like to have some insight into what fees are doing, if fees happen to be higher, then you'll get a little notification saying, hey, you know, fees are higher than they've typically been recently, and it'll give you more insight there. Otherwise, you can use something like that site we were on before, mempool.space, and just by navigating there, you can see 9, 10, 11. You can see the sats per byte there. I really like using this site as my fee reference, but I can see that, okay, anything north of 11 sats per byte is going to be just fine. So I am going to do custom priority, and I'm going to do 12 because I want it to go through quickly. So I'm going to hit confirm there. And so I did a custom priority there. It lets me know what my total fee is going to be in sats, which is around 2,300 sats. I can toggle and see that's about $1.41. That's fine by me. And I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to hit confirm and send. It one last time asks for my PIN code. And when I hit proceed, off it shall go. It says send successful. Sent to wallet 2 from wallet 1. Total amount. There's your fee total. Okay. I can either X out of that or hit view wallets. And there we go. So this will now update. You can see the outgoing transaction with the hourglass, meaning it's not fully confirmed yet. And if I go back out and I click on wallet 2, again, you may need to swipe down to refresh, but it should see the incoming transaction as it is right there. And so that's now all properly reflected. I can tap on the balances here and I can see updated 0 and then the balance shifted to wallet number 2. So I really love this play between being able to send and receive to all wallets within my Keeper app and not having to copy and paste addresses and just being able to say, oh, I need to send it over to my other wallet. Alternatively, like I said, you can paste in a Bitcoin address that's been sent to you or just scan with the camera that opens up by default when you go to send. So this section is going to focus on creating your own vault here in the Keeper app. And with this example, I'm going to be using the Tapsigner and the Coldcard Q. These are both made by Coinkite. If you're unfamiliar with these devices, then I will also link to tutorials on them in the show notes down below. And if you do want to pick them up, there'll be links for them as well. Now, side note here, both of these devices are already initialized and set up with keys. Okay, so I'm not going through the full setup process here. That's what the tutorials in the show notes will be for, but you'll get a good idea of how to import these devices so that they're accessible and part of a vault within Keeper. So with that in mind, we're going to go ahead. We're going to, down at the bottom, choose Add Wallet, and we're going to choose from the options here. Now, when you do that, you're going to have, of course, you see Hot Wallet, which we've already used, but then there's some templates of commonly used multi-sig quorums. So there's a 2 of 3 vault, 3 of 5, or collaborative, in which you can pair up with other copies of the Keeper app on other mobile devices. But for now, we're going to go simple. We're going to do a 2 of 3 vault, and that is a setup where there are 3 possible keys and 2 of them are required to move your funds. What are the keys? Well, the Tapsigner, the Coldcard Q, and then for this example, I'm going to have one of the keys be actually the hotkey on Keeper right now. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to hit 2 of 3 vaults. I'm just going to call it ABC just for simplicity's sake. And we can see 3 keys, the total number of keys, required keys, 2 to unlock your funds. I'm going to hit proceed. Okay, now, right now we only have a single mobile key. We are requiring to import or make Keeper aware of these other 2 keys that we have. So let's deal with the Tapsigner first. So I'll just move the Coldcard out here. And from this screen, I'm able to add a new key. So I'm going to do exactly that. And you can see here, they've got quite an extensive list of supported hardware. You're probably seeing some things that you might own as well, but we're going to be utilizing the Tapsigner first. So I'm going to hit Tapsigner. As I said before, they say here you're going to need the PIN that is given on the back of the Tapsigner and make sure that the Tapsigner has not been used as a signer in other apps. Now, what I will say is that I think they're being a little overly cautious here. They just don't want you to mix things up. But this is an already initialized Tapsigner, and I have used it in other demos and things like that. It functions just fine. Just you don't want to get confused. So if you have a fresh Tapsigner, the flow will be a little bit different here, but I'm sure you'll be able to make it through. Either way, I'm going to hit next. And it says, we need the PIN for your Tapsigner. So I have my own PIN that I set up for this demo one. So I'm just going to type it in right here, and then I'm going to hit proceed. And then it just simply asks me to tap the Tapsigner to the back of my phone, wherever the NFC chip is. And I just hold it there, try not to wiggle it around so that it can import the info. And there we go. Tapsigner is added as a key option. And that's it. I don't need this currently now. And so I'm going to do the same thing with the Coldcard. So I'm going to hit add a key. I'm going to choose Coldcard. We're going to be doing NFC. Now, you can import the Coldcard information via SD card as well. So if you have a little plug-in for the bottom of your phone to be able to use SD cards, you can do that. But I'm going to use NFC for convenience sake. I will say the NFC on the Coldcard Q is a lot stronger than the Mark IV, which is the calculator looking one. So it makes it a little bit easier. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to choose NFC as my option and I'll hit next. So that is going. It lets me know where to go in the Coldcard to export. So I need to go to advanced, export wallet, and generic JSON. So I'm going to go on the Coldcard to advanced. I'm going to go to export wallet, and then down near the bottom, it's generic JSON. So it lets me know what that is. I just hit enter and it's going to generate a file. And then it's going to ask me how I want to export that file. So it says that I can do it via SD card or NFC or QR code. I'm doing NFC. There's a button for that right here. It's going to bring up the NFC. The NFC chip on the Coldcard is right in the middle of the screen. So I'll put that here. And then the NFC chip on my phone is somewhere around here where the camera is. So I'm just going to place it on top. Perfect. Okay. So that information has now been communicated. I can see the Coldcard listed here as well. So I've got a mobile key, Tapsigner, and the Coldcard all there. Now, if I wanted a more secure setup, I would say probably to have a third external signer instead of using the mobile key. But again, for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to keep it simple here. And to get back to my main screen here, I'll just hit cancel on the Coldcard. There we are. Now, let's set up the vault. Now, we're not done with the Coldcard because the Coldcard needs to be aware of this multisig wallet. So we need to communicate a little bit of information back to the Coldcard in a second, and I'll explain that a bit more. But we need to select our keys that we're going to use for our vault, which are all of these. So check, check, check. There we go. 3 possible keys. We'll hit proceed. Vault created successfully. I can view the vault. And it takes me right there. Everything is all good. Now, as I said, we do need to communicate some information back to the Coldcard. Reason being is for more advanced signers like the Coldcard, what will happen if it's unaware of the multisig vault that it's a part of? You will go to say, hey, can you approve this transaction? Can you sign this transaction? And the Coldcard will look at an address and say, oh, that's not one of my addresses that I'm aware of. Strange. Okay, well, I don't have the credentials to actually approve this. You need to let the Coldcard know, no, you are part of this vault and you are capable of approving these transactions. So we just need to communicate that over to the Coldcard. So you can do that from within your vault by hitting Manage Keys, Coldcard, and then there's a settings thing down at the bottom here. And it lets you know, hey, this signer is used in one wallet here in this vault. And there's something that says manual registration. So I can tap that. And again, it brings up the NFC. And what I'm going to do on the Coldcard is I'm going to go to settings and then multisig wallets and then import via NFC. And that's going to bring up my NFC. Same thing. I'm just going to place it here, place the phone over top and hold it there for a moment. Once that NFC ticker goes away, I can remove the phone. And the Coldcard says, hey, would you like to import or create this new multisig wallet? It gives me information about it. If it looks good, I just hit enter and it saves that information. So now the Coldcard is all primed and ready. It's listed there. I can just cancel back out. And when I want to approve a transaction later on, the Coldcard will know exactly what I'm trying to do. And so here we are. I'll just back out of everything back to the main screen here. And so now we have our hot wallets that we're using, but we also have this vault and we are able to fund it as normal. So up next, we're going to send a transaction to the vault. And then once it's confirmed, we're going to practice spending from the vault using our signers. All right, so I'm going to take a look here. So I've got some funds in wallet number 2. I'm going to go into wallet number 2. And as we've done before, we're going to send from a hot wallet into our vault, or this time. So I'm going to hit send. We're going to pre-select one of the wallets that already exists, which is our ABC vault. And I'm going to hit proceed. So it says you're sending from this wallet to your vault. I'm going to send the maximum amount just because we've got a small amount sitting there. I'll hit send. As before, I'm going to choose my fee. I'll choose a high fee and confirm it. Everything looks all good to me. So I'm just going to hit confirm and send. I'll put in my PIN and proceed. And off the transaction goes. Perfect. So I'll hit view wallets. We're back here. If I do a little swipe down to refresh, I should see that transaction pop in here. Perfect. And if you're wondering why there's a whole bunch of other transactions, it's because I set up this exact same multi-sig vault prior in practice in preparation for this video. So you can see transactions going in and out. The same keys were used. And so I basically just recreated it from scratch. But nonetheless, you would only see one transaction here if it was your first interaction with this particular vault. Same thing here. If I go to wallet 2, I may want to just do a quick swipe to update, but I can see there's the transaction going out. And as a reminder, if you're waiting on this transaction to confirm, you can pick it. You can tap the little button here and you'll be redirected to mempool.space where you can see yourself waiting in the queue to be confirmed. So we'll be right back once this transaction does confirm and we'll test sending out of our vault. Jumping ahead here, we have a confirmation on those funds. And so now it is time to try sending out and utilizing our signers. Now, as I said before, we have 3 keys here, right? We have the Tapsigner, the Coldcard queue, and we have a key here on the device as well. Now, normally the easiest way to send out would be to utilize the key on the phone because it's immediately available and then one of the external signers. But for this example, I'm going to use both external signers just so you can see how to utilize them in this setup. So just to recenter ourselves, let's go back out to the main screen. Okay. So again, it's been some time, you log in, you want to move some money out of a vault. First of all, you have to go to the vault itself, tap on it. You're going to choose send. And on this screen, you're either going to scan a QR code, you're going to paste in a Bitcoin address down below here, or you're going to choose one of your internal wallets. And for ease of use this time, we're just going to use an internal wallet and we'll hit proceed. Okay, we're on our main screen. How much do you want to send? I'm going to hit send max and I'll just go onto the send screen. We'll set our fee. I'll just do high by default. Okay, so everything here is set up. I'm going to hit confirm and send. It's going to ask for my passcode and I'll proceed there. And here is where we need to sign. It shows the 3 possible keys that we could use to approve this transaction. We need 2 of them in order to successfully move funds. So all I'm going to do here is first, we'll start with the Tapsigner. So I'll move the Coldcard off the side here. I'm going to choose the Tapsigner, proceed. I need to put in my PIN code and then hit sign. Okay, at this point, it pulls up the NFC screen. I'm going to simply tap the card. And there we go. We get a nice little green check mark. Tapsigner has done its job. We now have a signature. We need one more. And this time we're going to utilize the Coldcard. Now, again, we've made the Coldcard aware that it's part of a multisig, so we should be good to go here. I'm just going to choose the Coldcard. It's going to ask how I want to sign. Again, SD card is possible, but we're going to use NFC for this time. So I'm going to go ahead and hit proceed. And we have 2 functions. First of all, we need to tell the Coldcard about the transaction. We need to approve it on the Coldcard. And then we need to show Keeper that we've got that signature, that we're good to go. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit send PSBT, which stands for partially signed Bitcoin transaction, to Coldcard. On the Coldcard, I'm going to choose ready to sign. All right. It lets me know that I can do this a few different ways. I'm going to hit the NFC button as my option. We'll center this here. And then I'll just take the phone and I'm going to hold it. I hear it buzz. I get that haptic feedback. I'll wait till the NFC screen goes away. There we go. And at this point, the Coldcard should show me the transaction and say, hey, do you want to approve this? Yeah. So it says, is this okay to send? You're sending this much Bitcoin with the following fee to the following address. If that looks good, hit enter. So that looks good to me. I'll hit enter. And that will create a signed transaction or a signature that I'm going to send back to my phone. So now on the phone, I'm going to do the second part, receive signed PSBT from the Coldcard. So I'll hit receive, NFC screen comes up, center it here. I'll just hold it, feel the buzz, wait for that screen to go away. There we go. NFC disappears on the Coldcard queue. Now, there is one little quirk here. It didn't bump me back to the signing screen because it just stays natively here. It did sign. So if I just swipe back, there's my check mark. I would love to see an update where it just auto bumps you back to this screen, because the first time I did it, I was a little confused, but I figured it out. So nonetheless, if you experience that, just know it did sign. Just jump back to the last screen. Now we have our 2 signatures. We're ready to go. We're going to go ahead. We're going to hit broadcast, and off the transaction shall go. Send successful. We can view the wallets, and oh, there, I didn't even need to swipe. It showed right there. Perfect. All right. So we now have a 0 balance there. If I go back to the main screen, I think I sent it to wallet 1. Trying to remember now. Yes, there it is. Okay, perfect. So there's my balance incoming. So we successfully created a vault. We received money to the vault, and we sent out, and we used 2 external signers to do so. We used a Tapsigner and a Coldcard queue, all seamlessly, all within a single app. Now, I want to show another cool thing that you can do here in Keeper, and that is creating a vault with external keys that are hotkeys within Keeper, other Keeper apps on other mobile devices. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to add a new wallet, and I'm going to make a collaborative vault. And so I have a mobile key. And what I can do here is on the other 2 wallets that I have open, I can go to Manage Keys, and I'll do Mobile Key. I'll go into Settings, and I'm going to show the key details. And this is going to be the public key information of my master on this device. I'm going to do the same thing on this other wallet here. Just go into Settings and Key Details. And so I have everything I need to set up a vault here in this main device. So I'm going to hit Add a Second Signer, Add a Key, and Scan. Perfect. I'm going to get rid of this one down here. I'm going to add a key and scan. Perfect. So we're going to add this external key, and I'm going to hit Proceed. And then I'm going to add the third signer, which is the other external key, and proceed. And then I'm going to hit View Wallet. And so now what I have here is a collaborative vault done between 3 copies of the Keeper app on different devices. And whenever I want to create a transaction, I can go ahead and I can sign them with these separate devices that basically become kind of like hardware in a multi-sig quorum. So we're going to fund this wallet, and then we will jump ahead to sending out of it. You already know how to receive funds into a wallet. Pretty simple, receive and send. But we're going to practice sending out using these other phones as hardware signers. With our transaction confirmed, let's see what it's like to send out of our collaborative vault here. So I'm just going to hit send as we've done before. We'll just send it back to wallet 1 here internally, and I'll hit proceed. I'll send the max again. You've seen it all before. We'll hit our fee. Not the fee insights. What am I doing here? We'll change it to high priority. Great. Confirm and send. It's going to request my passcode. And at this point, I'm going to choose my keys. I am going to use the internal key this time. And it'll ask the passcode for that. And I'll proceed. And now I need to use one of the external keys. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up one of these external keys. Now, hopefully I remember which was which, but we'll just go with it here. So I'm going to choose this external key, and my device I need to get ready. So now this device doesn't have the multisig vault on it. It's just a signer. It just has a key on it. So I'm going to go to manage keys. I'm going to go to my mobile key and I'm going to go to settings. And in those settings, it says sign transaction using a PSBT file. So I'm going to, now I'm in the right place. I'm going to hit proceed. And this animated QR code is a partially signed Bitcoin transaction. So I'm going to hit sign transaction. That opens up my camera. I'm going to scan what is on the screen here. There we go. And so now it has a fully signed transaction on the other phone. And so on my actual vault phone, I'm going to hit scan PSBT and I'm going to scan the signed transaction from the other device. There we go. We have 2 check marks, which is all we need. And at this point, I can broadcast. And if I hit view wallets, do a quick refresh, and there's the transaction going out. So this secondary phone, which I can back out now, this secondary phone became a signer in a multisig without even having to import anything. I just let the main wallet know about the external keys. And then when I need to use it, I pull out the secondary device. So if you have old phones kicking around, or if you create a quorum with friends, then this is an excellent feature to have. What I would love to see, and I'm not sure how it would be implemented, but I'd love to see the ability to sign transactions remotely, peer-to-peer, in an easy enough way that somebody could simply, through some sort of messenger, relay that information and then relay it back. And I don't necessarily know if that's available yet, but as soon as it is, I will definitely cover that in a future video. But either way, really cool that you can create a collaborative vault with multiple mobile devices without needing additional hardware if you don't have it.
Speed Wallet is a Bitcoin Lightning wallet built with simplicity in mind. Send and receive with ease, claim your own Lightning address, shop your favorite gift cards, and even earn rewards when you spend. Head over to speed.app to download the app on your mobile or desktop today, and be sure to use code BTC Sessions 10 to get 5,000 sats for free and the chance to win even more. Debify.com allows you to borrow against your Bitcoin in a non-custodial way. Collateral is held in a 3 of 4 distributed multi-sig with trusted parties. It provides institutional liquidity providers, loan periods of up to 5 years with flexible conditions and the best rates. And best of all, no rehypothecation of your funds. If you want to check them out today, head over to debify.com or hit the link in the show notes down below.
In this section, I want to cover backups and recovery. Okay. Now, of course, originally we wrote down our seed phrase, our 12 words for the master key in this wallet. And in essence, that's all that you need. However, there are extra things you can do. Now, it's very unique in that with Keeper, all you need is that seed phrase to fully recover this wallet back to the way it looks right now with all of these different iterations and multi-sig configurations and sub accounts and everything that I've done here. I just need a 12-word seed phrase input into Keeper to see this as is. Now that is to a degree dependent on Keeper and their servers and the way they do things. I'll get into the technicals of that momentarily, but you may be worried that Keeper servers may not always be there. And so there is also something available for you in that realm as well. I can go into settings here and I have the option to do a personal cloud backup. And this allows me to utilize whatever cloud service, I'm on an Android phone, so I would use Google Drive, but I can back up all of the information about how everything is set up, including BSMS files, all that, aka information to do with my multi-sigs. And I can just hit allow backup. I can enter a password that I would like to have. So maybe just like 1, 2, 3, 4. You want a better password than that, but I'm just doing that for simplicity's sake. And I'll do that one more time. We'll just do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'll hit backup. And then it's going to ask me for which credentials, where do I want to put this? So I'll put that with BTC sessions. And this will encrypt everything, all of the necessary information here. Key material is not being uploaded, just so you know. I still require my 12-word seed phrase or my master key. But this is additional information about the entire setup, okay? So all of that is all set. I've now done a cloud backup. And that is secondary to the automatic backup that is done with Keeper and their servers. So I'm all set now. I have a backup. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fully delete this app off my phone, and we're going to try a recovery with nothing more than our 12-word seed phrase, and we'll see what happens. All right, so this is a fresh install of the Keeper app on my phone. I've deleted it, downloaded it again. All the information is gone. It's asking me to create a passcode from scratch, just like we did the first time. I'm going to do that twice and create. Okay, again, same reminder, remember your passcode. Let's skip the intro screens. And we're back at where we started. Either start new or recovering an existing app. And so we're going to try the recovery this time to see what it looks like. And so it's asking our first 6 words. So when you tap up here, you start typing in the first word and it will narrow it down until you put in enough letters, and then you can tap on it. I'm going to do that for the first 6, hit next, the next 6, and then we'll go from there and see if we can recover. Okay, we've got all the seed words entered. I'll hit next, and it begins the recovery process, reconstitutes my wallet, and check this out. Everything is here. Let's tap here. So there's our balance in wallet 1. It knows that I had already created a wallet 2. It knows that I had created a vault. It knows that I had created a collaborative multisig vault as well. If I take a look at the keys, it has the mobile key. It knows of the Tapsigner and the Coldcard and the 2 external keys utilized in the collaborative vault. It knows of everything. It is all restored as previously done. I don't need to import any multisig material, BSMS files, any of that coordination stuff. That is all done for me, which is awesome. I don't need anything other than my 12 seed words, and everything is returned back to normal. So with that known, let's dive into exactly how that works. All right, so what is going on here? How are we able to recover all of that, even external information about keys that were not directly related to the original master seed phrase? Well, here's the cool bit about Keeper and how they do it without requiring any type of login, even email related, anything like that, no accounts, nothing. So when you set up a wallet and it generates a new master seed, that seed phrase is kind of the master of every single hot wallet that you create. And it's using a mechanism called BIP85. And I talked about this before. So you've got one seed phrase. When you have the first hot wallet, when you first boot up the Keeper app and create your seed phrase, the seed phrase that you note down is not the seed phrase of the actual individual hot wallet that's there, because it is a child seed. You can create multiple child seeds from the master. And so we created 2 of those. So that's great. We also imported key material, not key material, but public key material from the Tapsigner and the Coldcard and the 2 other phones that was there. And that is in no way related to the original seed. So it makes sense that we'd be able to see previous accounts that were related to the seed, but how do we know about this other stuff? Well, what Keeper does in the background is it takes all of the information about your wallet that is not balance sensitive. So no key material is taken, but all of the metadata when it comes to how many hot wallets did you create from the master? Did you create a vault? What is the BSMS or the configuration file for that vault? Did you create a collaborative vault? Doesn't matter what type of vault, what type of multisig you made. What is the information for that? The configuration file for that. It bundles all of that into a big blob of data, and it encrypts it with your master seed, and then it uploads it to the keeper. It uploads it to the keeper servers. And so the keeper servers have this kind of just a big useless blob of data that they can't see into. It's all encrypted. The only way to decrypt it is to have the master key on your device decrypting it. Now, so how does keeper know that that blob of data is yours when you simply input your seed phrase? And this is the cool thing is they use something called the master fingerprint. So when you have a seed phrase, when you have a private key, there's an easily identifiable small snippet of letters and numbers, an alphanumeric number that represents your wallet. Now, with that number, you can't work backwards and find out any sensitive data, but you can work forwards from the seed to get the master fingerprint. So when you go and you opt to recover via Keeper, you put in your seed phrase and it says, okay, this is your master fingerprint from this seed phrase. It then does an inquiry to the Keeper servers and says, hey, here's a master fingerprint. Do you have a file that or a blob of data that relates to this master fingerprint? If yes, then it sends back that blob of data to your phone, and then you decrypt it with your master seed so that you can now see everything restored exactly how it was. How many hotkeys did you derive? How many child keys did you derive from the master? Did you have any vaults? If so, what did they look like? In what order were they in? And what had you done with them? And what were the names of them? What was the metadata? All of the information. What about all of your previous transactions? Did you have labels? All of that is just there. And the beautiful part, if Keeper's servers were to go down, you still have the optional cloud backup, which effectively is doing the same thing. You're storing a BSMS file for all of your vaults and everything like that. It's a bit more of a manual process to recover that way, but it still functions and you can still recover all your data. So I love this as a backup mechanism to be able to easily reaccess everything and not have to be pulling in, okay, how many accounts did I have? Okay, add an account. Oh, right, I had that multisig. I got to pull in that file. We'll put this back. Need to make the wallet aware of all the keys from that. It's not a manual process. It's just automatic with nothing more than your seed phrase. And I feel like that's kind of the breaking edge thing or the bleeding edge thing that or the unique thing that Keeper has done in this instance. So hats off to them. Love this idea. And I hope you guys have some appreciation for it too. Now, I did also want to showcase how you remove both wallets and keys from Keeper app, because there's instances where you're likely not using certain things anymore. So I'll quickly go through and touch on that. So first thing I'm going to do is let's remove this 2 of 3 multi-key collaborative wallet. Okay. So I go into settings in the top left and I go to manage wallets. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the collaborative wallet there and I'm going to hit hide and it gets hidden away. Okay. Now, when I do show hidden wallets, which I'll need to show it, I know it seems counterintuitive. You hide it and then you need to show it, but you can only delete hidden wallets. Okay. And this is done by design so that you don't accidentally go and delete something you don't mean to. So you hide it. Then you go to show your hidden wallets and put in your PIN code to show them. And then it gives you the delete option. So now I can delete this wallet. It'll ask for my PIN again to really make sure that I want to delete it. And off it goes. Okay, fantastic. Well, I've deleted that wallet. Now I don't need those other keys. So how do I go and delete keys? It's a similar story. I'm going to go from the main page. I'm going to go to manage keys in the left there. And then I'm going to tap on one of those keys. and I'm going to go to settings. And in the settings, you have the option again to hide key. Again, in order to delete something, you have to hide it so you don't accidentally delete something you don't want to. So we're going to hide the key. It'll ask for my passcode, and now the key is hidden. Okay, great. So in order to see the hidden key that you want to delete, you go in here to the settings within there. You're going to say show and delete keys. It'll ask for your passphrase. It really wants you to make sure before you're deleting key material that you mean to. There's the delete button on this specific key. So I'll hit it and passphrase one more time. And there goes that key. If I navigate back, you can now see there's only one external key that is visible, whereas there used to be two. So that is how you manage and delete wallets and keys within Keeper. Now let's touch on UTXO management and being able to see UTXOs within a wallet. Really simple. If I tap on a wallet, I'll go back to wallet here. Again, it gives me those intro screens because this first time booting it up after recovery. But I can just simply hit view all coins. It shows me the UTXO here. If I have more than a single UTXO, more than a single chunk of Bitcoin in my wallet, I would have more here. But I can tap on it. I can see the labels. It was a deposit to wallet 1. I can add a label if I want to label it as non-KYC or from a certain source or from a certain person. I can do all that and I can add a label. Let's just add a test label to see the check mark. There we go. And we'll hit save changes. By the way, any labels will also be uploaded to the blob of data to the Keeper servers and will be recovered upon recovery. So that is how you look at and manage UTXOs within Keeper. Another thing that Keeper allows you to do is to connect to your own node. So I'm going to go to the top right and hit settings, and depending on the type of node you're running, you may need Tor connectivity. And so first, I'm going to take a peek at that. If I tap on Tor settings, they've got two options. There is something called Orbot, where you can use a Tor-enabled VPN on your phone. And this is a separate app that you would download and install. And you would simply hit the via Tor Orbot, hit connect, and it will open up your Tor your Orbot app and have you connect there. However, they do also have in-app Tor here, and it will connect once you tap it. They do say that this one can be a little slower, a little harder to connect, and maybe have some connectivity issues from time to time, such as the case with dealing with Tor. You get the point. I'm just going to X out of this. I'm not going to connect to it right now. Once you are connected through Tor, through either of those, if you need it with the node that you're running, then next you need to go to node settings. You can see the default nodes that they've selected here as the 4 that they typically connect to. And these are known nodes that are known to not collect data or have publicly said they don't collect any data. However, if you don't want to trust, but you rather want to verify, then you're going to want to add a new node. And you basically need 2 pieces of data. You need the host and you need the port number. So the host would be like either an IP address or an Onion Tor address. And then the port, typically, if you're running an Electrum server, is going to be like 50001. So I'm just going to show what this looks like in Start9, which is the type of node that I run. Now, there's a whole bunch of different apps here. Don't get too worried about it. But if you're running a node and you're wanting to connect remotely, likely you're going to need to have Bitcoin Core downloaded and synced. You're also going to need Elect RS or Electrum Rust server. This is going to look a little bit different depending on what type of node you're running, but more or less, you're just going to need to go into the Elect RS application on your node. Once I click there, there's something called properties, and that's going to give me the strings that I need. It will give me something called the Onion address, and it will give me something called the port. All I need to do is copy that information, get it over to my phone, and then paste it into the appropriate fields over here on my phone, and then hit save. And that will be the node that I connect to. Again, depending on how you're using it via Tor or not, you may have good connectivity or poor connectivity, but you still are able to do it through the app as long as you're running your own node. Or if you have a preferred node that maybe is not your own, but you trust it, you can put that information here as well. Some final thoughts here on the Keeper app. I mean, first off, I really, really like how they've constructed the wallet in and around utilizing BIP85 as the master seed, having all of the hot wallets as child seeds of that, and then also baking in this backup system that's encrypted with your master seed that also has all of the metadata and everything, and no accounts needed, and the reference is the master fingerprint. Like, it's just it plays together very, very well. And I really, really like what they've done here. Now, I do have a wish list of things that I would love to see here in Keeper as well. So one of the things, they have hot wallets, they have vaults, but I would also love to see support for single signature cold wallets. So like a single Tapsigner as an account, or a single Coldcard queue as an account. That'd be awesome. I would love to see that. I would love to see support, as I alluded to before. I'd love to see support for BBQR on the Coldcard queue, because I love the QR scanning. I think that's a very intuitive and easy way to do things. And so hopefully they will add that functionality as well. In terms of other little things that I'd love to see in future updates, in and around dealing with fees within the app, I would love to see when it says fast, medium, or slow for your selections and fee. I would love to see just below the sats per VByte that currently represents, just so I have a better idea of what I'm doing. And then that can also help inform my decisions of if I want to do a custom fee. If I want to be just above the high fee, how might I adjust that? Other things that, from what I hear, are rolling out in future updates are going to be things like child place for parent, RBF. And yeah, all around, again, I'm loving what I'm seeing here. And there are a lot of other cool things that I didn't get to cover here that I'll cover in future videos. One of them, when I did that collaborative vault, well, I used Keeper for every single app, but that doesn't necessarily need to be the case. This is a cross software compatible multisig vault setup, meaning I could have like Blue Wallet and Sparrow be signers as part of a multisig constructed from Keeper natively in the app. I love that idea, and I'll cover that in future videos. Also, they've got the whole assisted multisig setup where they could have a signing server with your own settings there. They've got an inheritance key thing that you can do. All of that I'm going to cover in the future, but there's a lot here. There's really a lot here. So I'm going to be diving deeper on this as I go. But kudos to them. They've done a good job. I feel like Keeper is a little under the radar. And so, yeah, but they've been working hard. There's still plenty of work to do, as there always is in Bitcoin. But I think it's a very positive development. And I love seeing companies in this realm that are trying new things and that are really working hard to make sure that they test and build products that work well for their users. And so hope to see more of that. And I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on Keeper, what you would like to see, what you enjoyed. Is there any gripes that you have? Please let me know. Hit them in the comments down below. I look forward to hearing from you all. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, please do like, subscribe, and share. All of those things, they really, really do help a ton getting this content in front of more eyeballs. If you want to help the show in another way, of course, you can hit up the previously mentioned sponsors down below in the show notes. And if you're sorting through the tutorials on the channel like this one or any others, and you're finding that you need a little bit of extra hand holding, then please do reach out to my team at bitcoinmentor.io. I have aggregated a team of amazing educators in the Bitcoin space, and they are more than happy to help you through doing things like key management, multi-sig, setting up and running your node, all kinds of, learning all kinds of different hardware, whatever it is, whatever you are curious about, whatever you need a little bit of one-on-one for, you can reach out again over at bitcoinmentor.io. You can book an initial discovery session to let them know what you're looking for so that you get appointed to the best mentor to suit your needs, and links for them will be down below. With that, I'm out. Have yourselves a wonderful day or evening wherever you may be. I'll see you guys next time for your daily session.
Hodl the Bitcoin.